Ida Du Preez, and I am a Senior Account Manager at Vivo Miles. Today I'm going to talk about how schools can make sure their older year groups stay engaged and motivated by Vivo Miles. I also have my colleague Pippa with me, and she's going to be with us in this session and ask a few questions. If you have any questions, the easiest way to do this is to add it to the question tab, and then I will answer any questions at the end of this session. So in my TLCs with schools, I often hear how much Vivo is liked and how it has changed students' attitude towards school and their learning. Schools like the fact that Vivo is easy and quick to use. They like the fact they have access to staff awarding data to ensure all their students are rewarded fairly and consistently. Students like the fact that they can log into an online system to check their account balance and who has awarded them Vivos and why. They also like that they have the freedom to choose their own rewards from an online shop. Having said all this, though, I do hear from schools that they sometimes find it challenging to engage and motivate their older students in Key Stage 4. So in this session, I will talk about some of our modules and how schools can use Vivo in a more innovative way to keep years 10s and 11s as engaged as their younger years.
Hi, this is Pippa. Our first question that we often hear from schools about their Key Stage 4 students, or first question or first certainly concerns that schools often have, is that the students feel the items that they'd like to buy from the Vivo shop are often out of their price range in terms of the number of Vivos that they have in their account and are being awarded. What, Ida, have you heard from schools, and also have you come up with within the team as to ways to tackle that?
We do have a few suggestions on how to tackle this issue. So our advice is to speak to the student council or your older year groups only. Try and find out what school-related items students would like to purchase from your school shop. Items could be prom tickets, end-of-year books, school stationery, hoodies and textbooks, and so on. So just have a chat with them. They'll let you know what's in and what's not, basically. Many schools say that their older students are less motivated by fluffy pens than the year 7s, which is no great surprise. Items that appeal more to Key Stage 4 are items which allow them to be more independent and active within their local community. So why not speak to local companies in your community to find out whether they would be willing to donate items, tickets, and so on. Many of your students may have parents who work for a local business, or you might have a colleague in the school who knows somebody who has a business and who would be willing to donate free items or sponsor the schools. Don't be afraid of this, because companies have a social responsibility toward their community, and many would be more than willing to donate items to the school for their older students. We do have a school in London, Parkview School, has successfully obtained free ticket deals with their local cinema, and All Saints Academy in Dunstable have secured a deal with a local driving school and now offer discounted driving lesson vouchers in their school shop, which is really, really popular. So just get out there, and if you need any advice from us, just let us know. Other ideas range from access to leisure centres. We hear a lot of schools use skater parks, discounted vouchers from beauty salons, tickets to bowling alleys, theme parks, local sports club merchandises. They sell tickets to matches. So, you know, if you have a lot of students who like football, for example, or they, they do ballet or gymnastics, it might be that they want to be able to buy equipments with their Vivos. You could also ask a local museum and galleries, or even as simple as a 10p discount voucher of a cup of coffee or a chocolate from the local cafe. Another way to motivate students without focusing on the Vivo shop is using the Gold Club. We often find that schools find that the Gold Club is not sustainable across the whole school, as things that appeal to your year 7s are very different than those which appeal to year 11, for example. We do recommend that the Gold Club is used to motivate and engage Key Stage 4 rather than the whole student body. And if you use it like this, then you can focus on privileges that would appeal to your older year groups only. So for instance, work experience, it could be access to a games room if you have one in school. It could be an end of term event. I look after a school in Birmingham where the Vivo champion has contacts in the music industry, and he manages to put on music events at the end of each term, so any Gold Club member can then join that, which is really, really popular. It could be giving members the opportunity to work after school with their favorite teacher, or the school could put on a VIP party at the end of the year, which only Gold Club members can attend, which will make them feel really special. It could also be first refusal on limited shop items, or as simple as jump the lunchtime queue, and so on. So just again, speak to your students and see what they would like to be able to access in the Gold Club. I'm just going to hand over to Pippa again.
Thank you. This is somewhat linked to the first question, but students do also find that the awards they're given, or the rewards they're given, are often too small to actually motivate them. So things that say 2p here, 2p there, which possibly for year 7s and year 8s is relatively motivating, doesn't really have the same impact for Key Stage 4 students. How do you think you could tackle that?
Thanks, Pippa. One way to solve this would be to relook at the value of your categories and see whether you could change some of them and increase the value to make it not necessarily too easy for students, because of course they have to work hard for their Vivos, but all it means is that you might want to give a bigger chunk every time you reward, so that they can purchase items that they tend to like. We see that the older year groups like items say from 500 Vivos up, as opposed to the key rings and the fluffy pens and stickers and so on. You could also make use of the extra earner module. Here you can post requests to Key Stage 4 students only. You advertise jobs around the schools and find out whether you would be able to use some of the pupil premium to fund things like peer mentoring, students to help out with parent evenings. It might also be that students would like to be responsible for a school charity event. So if you using the fundraising module, you could link that with the extra earner, and I will come to the fundraising a little bit later. It could be monitoring students when leaving the school for the day, or help run the after school club. Could also be help younger students with reading. So obviously that will require a little bit of extra Vivos. Again, find out if you would be able to use some of the pupil premium funding that you get in school. We do have a school that has selected trusted prefects to run a help desk with where they have laptops, where students can come in and if they have to order an item, so they come to this club, or they might just want to check their account balances. These prefects also help with distributing shop items, so by doing that in class, for example, or in the help shop, they will then highlight what's in the shop. They have set this up in their reception area of the student cafe, but of course you could set that up anywhere where you have space. So again, it just gives those older students a little bit more responsibility in school, and kind of sending them on their way out into the wider world. So I'm going to pass on over to Pippa again.
Okay, well, so far those are great suggestions. One of the last sort of challenges we hear about from schools in terms of the older students is that because obviously they're more involved in exams and GCSEs and coursework and things, they often feel that because Vivo isn't sometimes as linked to the initiatives they're involved in at school, they have less time for it. So what's a way of being able to actually link Vivo back into initiatives and organisations that these older students are actually more involved in within the school?
So the way we see this work, would be to again look at your reward category. So as I said in the previous comment, we talked about the changing the values of some of the categories. It would also be a good idea to have a look at what you reward for and how relevant they are to Key Stage 4. So you could link the categories to the student's coursework, so award them Vivos for handing in a good piece of work. Another category could be for good referral after work experience. You could also link the categories to e-learning platforms such as Sam Learning. One school in Haringey that uses Vivo, who has been rewarding their students through Vivo for work done in Sam Learning. In the first term, the school deployed this. They saw double the number of student hours spent on Sam Learning than in the whole of the previous academic year, which is a great success. So if you wanted to do it like this, to manage this, you would have to pull off a report from Sam Learning on a weekly basis and then upload these points into Vivo. Then, of course, this could work with any e-learning platform students may use in your school. We have one school in Coventry that has linked the students' attitude to learning with Vivo, and they've seen a great increase in attitude overall, and they've had less incidents in the school as well. So again, just have a look at what you do already in your school and try and link it as much as possible to Vivo. And the last module I would like to touch on is the fundraising module. Making use of this digital fundraising platform supports the SMSC by encouraging students to adopt empathy and expand their social and global conscious development and awareness. So again, speak to your older students about the fundraising module, find out what charities they would like to support. It might be that they have contacts with the school overseas, or it might be that a student has links to a local charity that they would like to support, and then you can link these charities with the relevant year groups. We do know that donating to charity is very popular amongst the older year groups and is another way of keeping them engaged and motivated with Vivo. And then link this back to, again, with extra earners. So if you do put on charities, then you could ask some of the older students to actually be responsible for running a charity event. So it could be if your school normally use maybe Children in Need or Red Nose Day, you can actually run an event that they put on, organize and look after. Okay, so I'd like to open it up to the floor now, so if you have any questions, please let us know. Let's just have a look. We'll just yeah. No, I think that's it. So on that note, I will finish off the session by thanking all of you for listening today. I hope it's been helpful. If you do want to get in contact with us, then just either email or call your dedicated account manager, or you can send us an email on support@vivomiles.com. Our next webinar is next Thursday at 4 o'clock, where our Director of Engagement will be interviewing Nishi Lal at Sky Skills Studio. So please join us again for that session. Thank you.